Hi there, my name is Owen Kenny, and I'm here to talk to you guys today about motivation, how it applies to consumer behavior. So, what is motivation? What does it do for us? And how can motivation cause us to act a certain way in the marketplace? Motivation refers to the processes that lead people to behave as they do. It occurs when a need that the consumer wishes to satisfy is activated. Customer motivation are basic drives that explain customer behavior and preferences. Factors that drive consumers to purchase are things like fear of missing out, curiosity, indulgence, etc. So early philosophers and psychologists adopted the term motivation, usually in reference to voluntary action. It was a need or desire that caused a person to act. It is a driving force within individuals that impels them to act a certain way or achieve goals as well. It is rooted in a basic need to minimize physical pain and maximize pleasure. Motivation may be attributed to less apparent reasons such as altruism, selfishness, morality, or avoiding mortality. Motives drive purchases and all other human behavior. The result of motivation will arise by convincing the consumer to purchase the firm. Personal and cultural factors combine to create a want, which is one manifestation of a need. For example, hunger is a basic need that we all need to be satisfied. The specific route to drive reduction is culturally and individually determined. So let's go back to one of the factors that drives consumers to purchase. One of those factors is fear of missing out. So how does it apply to motivation? Fear of missing out applies to motivation because it is described as a drive not to miss current or future opportunities. Individuals with a strong fear of missing out may be unusually social or follow trends. It is sometimes presented as a negative thing, but can help individuals to achieve things as well. For example, let's say your friends are going to see a live TED Talk. Fear of missing out would be a good thing in this scenario because by going, you will be educating yourself and getting better at social interaction. Some related concepts that we'll go over later in the TED Talk are intrinsic motivation, extrinsic motivation, and human factors. So let's go over one of those concepts. What is extrinsic motivation? How does it affect the way we behave? Extrinsic motivation is behavior driven by a desire for external results. It includes the will to achieve reward and avoid loss. Common extrinsic motivations are rewards like money and grades, coercion, or threats of punishment. Competition is in general extrinsic because it encourages the performer to win. What is intrinsic motivation? How does it affect the way we behave? Intrinsic motivation occurs when a person pulls from their own inherent drives. Understanding what intrinsically motivates us is crucial to help us reach our goals. One intrinsic motivation is being naturally altruistic. Examples are money and grades because you're pulling from inside an individual rather than from any external or outside reward. An intrinsically motivated person will work on a solution to a problem because the challenge of finding a solution provides a sense of pleasure. Intrinsic motivation does not mean, however, that a person will not seek rewards. External rewards are not enough to keep a person motivated. For example, an intrinsically motivated student may want to get a good grade on an assignment, but if that assignment does not interest that student, the possibility of a good grade is not enough to maintain that student's motivation to put any effort into the project. Another great example of intrinsic motivation is the placebo effect. So the placebo effect demonstrates the power that intrinsic motivation plays on our feelings, thoughts, and behaviors. Another important thing to mention about intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation is their qualitative and quantitative relationships. Intrinsic motivation leads to better quality performance. For instance, you're working harder. And whereas extrinsic motivation via monetary incentives leads to more of a quantity of performance achievement. So you work out more often because you're pulling from external factors. So external rewards can cause consumers to be motivated and driven to do something more frequently because they're being given it from an outside factor instead of it being brought out of them from the inside. One example of an organization that leverages intrinsic motivation is Nike. Nike develops a set of marketing campaigns that promotes personal achievement and the ability to overcome obstacles that get in our way, fostering a sense of strong ambition and confidence to athletes or people in general who struggle with a lack of confidence. Another example of an organization that leverages extrinsic motivation instead of intrinsic is Planet Fitness. Basically, a perfect example that I came up with for Planet Fitness and its relation to extrinsic motivation is my brother usually has a membership to Planet Fitness, and usually with that membership comes a free guest pass. So he gets free guest passes with his membership all the time, which I use as a motivation to go and work out for him. So taking an external reward that a company provides you with a membership that drives you to go. So instead of having specific campaigns that are directly sending a message to the consumer, motivating them to do something from the inside, you're getting rewarded. The difference is between extrinsic and intrinsic is with extrinsic you're getting rewarded with something that will help you drive you to do something more frequently. And it doesn't really improve the quality of the performance. It improves more of the quantity, how frequently you will go because you were rewarded it. So I hope that after watching this TED Talk, you can use the applications of motivations that apply to consumer behavior and leverage it where you're going out, when you're going out shopping or on social media. You should be able to identify the different ways in which organizations try to motivate their consumers to purchase their products. So a quick little recall for everyone watching and are curious about what motivates consumers to behave the way they do is 1. When a need is activated, 2. Driving a consumer to reduce or eliminate their need, and 3. Pulling from inherent drives and pushed by an external force. Yes. Thank you.